Alright, so today we're going to solve inequalities by multiplying and dividing. Okay, so write your name at the top. Don't write my name. Sometimes people see my name and want to write it. Okay, so for A, some of you may have already written this down. You have 4K is greater than 24. Okay, 4K is greater than 24. Now, if you're going to solve that, remember our inverse operation. How do you undo multiplication? Yep, you're going to divide. All right, so then, Joey, what are we going to divide both sides by here? 4. Yes, excellent. Do you guys know what 24 divided by 4 is? Yeah. And then the sign stays the same. Okay, so K is greater than 6. So now can you guys graph that on your number line? And again, you can put 6 anywhere you want to. I'm just asking that you put at least 3 other ones. Okay, so this says K is greater than 6, so I want you guys to do your number line, please. And then I want you to double check that you have an open circle and that your arrow is going to the right. Okay, and then just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs up if you got it, thumbs down if we need to go over it. Okay. All right, so the next one, negative 50 is greater than or equal to 5Q. Okay, so Stacy, for this one, what are you thinking we should do to both sides? What are we going to divide by? 5. Good. We are always going to divide by the value that is on the same side as the variable. Because what we want to happen is we want this variable by itself. Okay, so what's negative 50 divided by 5? Negative 10. Great. Now, when you are writing this out, okay, if you have Q on the left side, or sorry, on the right side, and you want to put it on the left side, this is where you're going to switch and flip. So Q is going to go on the other side, negative 10. So if you flip that, okay, see how the alligator is eating the negative 10? Chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay? It still wants to chomp on the negative 10. So it still has to be that way. That's why you flip it. Now, one of the reasons why I want you to write it like this is so that when you go to graph, this is negative 10, and then negative 11, negative 12, negative 13, negative 9, negative 8. Okay, when you have that, now you can do your closed circle, and the arrow will go in the same direction as your symbol. Okay, that wouldn't happen if this was on the other side. Okay, so you got to keep it on that side, okay? And then, did you guys remember to do the closed circle here? The closed circle for the equal to? Okay. All right. And then this last one, the fraction, the 3/4, G is greater than 27. Okay, we can do this 2 different ways. So, bless you, the 3/4 is multiplied by G. So we could divide both sides by 3/4. Okay, we could do that. Let's see how that's going to look in our calculator. Okay, so if we divide, these are going to cancel out. And then let's do 27 divided by, and then for 3/4, what? How would you put that in your calculator? You guys remember the two ways we talked about yesterday? Yep, you can either use your fraction key or you can just use parentheses. So I want you guys to decide how you want to do that. Put that in your calculator, press enter. And let's look at the answers that we get there. Okay, and then, did you guys get a whole number, 36? Okay. So then, this is G is greater than 36. Did some of you get something different? Were any of you thinking of another way that you could do that? You could, yeah, you could turn that into a decimal. We've learned how to do that, right? 3 divided by 4 is 0.75, absolutely. I want you guys to also write out the second way. So the second way, this is something that you may have learned in an earlier class. If you have a fraction, have you guys heard multiplying by a reciprocal? So multiply by the reciprocal, and reciprocal is a fancy word. It really just means that this fraction is flipped. So if you have three on top and 4 on the bottom, you're going to multiply by 4 on top and 3 on the bottom. Because what's going to cancel out there? The 4 is going to cancel out with itself. The 3 is going to cancel out with itself, and you'll still have G. And then let's see what this is going to give us. So if we do 27 times 4 divided by 3, see how you get the same thing there? Okay, so either way, you're going to end up with G is greater than 36. Okay, so if this is 36, sometimes I like to label every other one just so they're not all scrunched up. So 36, 37, 38, and this would be 35, 34. Okay, and then Ryan, do I have an open circle or a closed circle for this one? Good. Okay, so we have an open circle. And then Bree, is this going to go, is the arrow going to go to the right or to the left? So see how it's pointing towards the, yep. If it's greater than 36, you want it to touch all those numbers that are greater than, okay? All right, now we have to talk about a special rule with inequalities. And some of you might remember this from an earlier class. If you multiply, so when you multiply or divide by a negative, do you guys remember that something special happens to the inequality? Does anybody remember? This would be from like middle school days. So if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to switch the sign of the inequality. Okay, so you're going to switch the sign. I'm going to say flip the sign of the inequality. Okay, so it's going to change directions. So that's a special rule for inequalities only. Okay, so let's write down 2A, which says 10 is greater than or equal to negative x. How do you move a negative over? What number is hiding in front of the x? Yeah, well, 1. Yep. So when you're dividing, you're going to divide both sides by -1. Okay, and then this would be -10 is, and then you do the flip. So -10 is less than or equal to positive x. So -10 is less than or equal to positive x. Okay, now when you go to graph this, let's switch this so it's on the right. Okay, so we're gonna get the variable. On the left side. Okay, so to do that, flip and switch. So these two things mean the same thing. This is saying -10 is less than or equal to x. This is saying that x is greater than or equal to -10. Okay, so if I put -10 here, this is -9, this is -8. The negatives are going up. This is -11, this is -12. Okay, and then do I have a closed circle or an open circle?
Closed.
Good. Closed circle. And then my arrow, is it going to the left or the right?
Right.
Yes, great. Okay, and then for 2b, even though it has decimals, it is the same step. So will you guys divide each side by the correct decimal? Okay, so you're multiplying, so you have to divide. Okay, so will you divide each one of those, please? Okay, and then Erica, what did you just divide each side by? Yep. Okay, so when you divide by a negative, you're going to flip the sign. Okay, and that's exactly what we did here. So I'm going to flip this. These will cancel out. Okay, and then when you do 4.25 divided by -0.25, Keith, what did you get for that? Did you do that yet in your calculator? Oh, will you do it real quick and just tell me what you get? Great. And then you should have -17. Okay, and you really can just, you're putting it in exactly as it is. 4.25 divided by -0.25. Okay, and then, so this is your final answer, and then let's rewrite with the variable on the left, if it's not already there. Okay, so if I rewrite it with the variable on the left, okay, again, the alligator is eating the H, right? So if it's eating the H, I'm going to flip it. All right, and then if I put -17 here, this would be -16, -15, and this would be -18, -19. You have an open circle because there's no equal to, and then the arrow is going in the same direction as your sign. Okay, it's greater than -17, so we have to do all the values that are greater than